I'm so happy to welcome Hemanth and Heramb to this episode of Samvadanam, and we're very excited to have both of you here. We love your music, so that's one reason why we wanted to talk to you. But more importantly, we also wanted to go into the mind of an artist and talk to you about certain things that you will be able to elucidate for us. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for inviting us. So it will be a pleasure. So I'm sure that it will be a very meaningful conversation for the next 30 minutes.
Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. I just wanted to ask you, we are very interested in knowing, can you mention some of the sort of different fingering techniques you have used for the flute, a little more on that and your innovation on it, please?
Yes. So basically to start off with the fingering of the flute. So in Carnatic system, Carnatic music, the flute that we use, the main flute that we use, we bring the sa swara out of it by closing the first two, holes of the flute. So which is like this. So the first two holes. So this is the main fingering for Carnatic flute concept. So what happens is, all instrument, including the voice, has its own shortcomings, right? So to overcome these shortcomings, we use different fingering techniques and also a portion called transpose fingering, where why I explained about this two holes covering two holes, the first two holes to bring sa is when we use another flute for the same pitch, for the same shruti that we are using, we use a different fingering position to bring the sa. So right now it is two holes closing to bring the sa, but when we use a different flute where we use a different fingering position, maybe closing different holes and different combination, that becomes a transpose fingering techniques. So that is the introduction to transpose fingering. So
before that, the flute holding techniques, the fingering techniques, if you see, we are holding it like this. It's like a crossed L-shaped fingering. So before that, let's say before 50 years, they were holding it like this, straight. So this was called parallel fingering. So now, after T.R. Mahalingam sir, so one of the greatest flautists, so he introduced the crossed fingering technique. So this is really was a tremendous revelation to bring out the Gayaki style on the flute. So this is one of the major holding techniques on the flute. Still, some of them hold it like this. In fact, the Hindustani players hold it like this. No, it is still for them. It is the parallel fingering itself. But the first Carnatic flute holding technique is like this, the crossed fingering technique. So that is the basic. Now, as he said, the transpose fingering. To give an example,
let's take a phrase, so that will help us, I guess. So on the flute, one of the shortcomings is from few notes to few notes we cannot connect them properly. We don't get a glide. So for example, on the flute, from swara re to swara pa, we have a cut. So if that is the shruti, and cannot be connected, but from re to ga, any note which is in the mid octave can be connected till the gandhara of the middle octave. So what happens, from re to ga we can have a connect like this, or maybe from till ma, which is the highest. This is the highest, but re to pa, what happens? You have a disconnect there.
Yeah, there is a gap, right? Absolutely.
Yes, but of course there is a small way to connect that also. But of course, if it is not for 100%, we can do it like this. But still, it's not perfect, right? So this is one of the shortcomings. And if you have a phrase, let's say, if that is the phrase, how does it sound on the flute with the two hole covering a sa? You have a cut there. So what happens if I use a different flute?
So here what is happening, so as he said, the normal fingering is to play sa with the first two holes being closed. Now, so that's a D sharp.
So this is a D sharp flute.
Now I pick up a A sharp flute. So in this, what happens? So this is my sa in this. See, this is the pa of D sharp. So A sharp sa is the pa of D sharp.
D
sa.
sharp, correct, correct.
Now, when I play ma in this, that is the Shuddha Madhyamam, it becomes a sa of D sharp. So this is the same as that, sir. Play that, sir.
So
Right,
The same,
right.
sir. Now what will happen? I'm now the swaras change for me. So his sa, when my sa becomes the ma, the swaras change. Now I'm able to connect that re and pa. How
of
is
course,
that?
so when the swara changes, you get the different combinations of fingers. right, for the
Exactly,
others.
exactly.
Oh.
So now the same phrase now. For that sir, phrase. See, you can connect in this now. That sounds like this. See, you're able to
Smoothly, just
yes,
smoothly transition, right?
that was not possible on that flute.
Absolutely,
Here and
absolutely.
there, these a few shortcomings.
So this happens when we have few of these phrases in the kriti also. When we are not able to bring that, when there are two of us playing, we have that advantage to use another flute and bring that phrase when we play the kriti. Right?
Correct, correct.
So
But it is also very challenging. Now my ma became sa, so I should be well equipped with my ma being sa as playing and also
Correct.
playing the same thing on the.
he has to imagine ma as when he plays.
Now, for
And pa-
example, what I
Absolutely.
played in this was I'm thinking the swara now because I'm used to ma as sa playing, so I played nidava sa ni re sa ni ni da in this. It was in that magari pa ma da ma
And,
ga.
correct.
So that became nidava sa ni re sa ni ni da for me. But I'm not thinking that as nidapa sa ni re sa ni ni da. I should think that as magari pa ma da pa ma ga with ma as sa.
Exactly.
That is the challenge.
That's very, very
So that is one of the-
challenging. That's not easy. You're
Yes.
reimagining the swarams, which is not that easy at all.
Yes.
Definitely. So this is one of the techniques. Now I made pa as ma as sa. There are also other techniques of playing pa as sa. And in fact, the Hindustani musicians, the flautists, for them the three-hole closed position is the sa for them. For us, the two-hole closed position is sa. For them, that is three-hole closed. For us, that is ni two. So like this, there are so many
kinds
fingering
on the
techniques
flute.
on the
So
flute.
in fact, there are so many flautists who can play, any music from any note. In the sense that they can make sa as sa, ga to as sa, ma to as sa, and that is very very difficult for us right now. We have mastered. We're still mastering ma as sa, pa as sa, or maybe ni to as sa, but to master every note and to be able to play anything from any note is requires a lot of thinking, lot of muscle memory and practice.
Definitely. So this is being used extensively in the film music. So the flautists in the film music industry, they have to know this. So in the classical music field, it is not very popular, but it is also not easy to play classical music with the transpose finger. You have to know the gamakas properly.
Right.
That is always a challenge.
Yes, and one more thing that happens with the transpose fingering is to cover the range of the flute. So this is one advantage of the flute, where if you take the voice, maybe you can go up to cover 2.5 octaves. But on the flute, when we use different fingering positions, when we use the transpose fingering, that's what is called transpose fingering. We can cover more octaves and bring out more music from that. So that is possible.
Absolutely. I mean, the range is so beautiful now. Would you be able to play a short piece with both of you? We would love to hear it.
Yes, yes. So, to explain the range, so on the flute, if you take a normal flute, a normal carnatic flute, the range is, so if you take, so if that is the shruti, you can go down up to lower ga. So this is the lower region. So till there you can go on the normal Carnatic flute, but of course with additional fingering techniques, I can go up to higher. I know the Tarasta Isa. So till there you can go. So till there you can go. So that requires additional fingering technique.
And also the blowing power.
Blowing power. So this is the range of the normal flute, normal Carnatic flute. But if you want to go still down and go still up, then you can use the other transpose fingering technique. So to cover. So for example,
After that, so yeah, so that was the last swara that can be played on that flute. Now, when the ma becomes the sa for me, till here I can go. So when pa
That is
becomes sa,
amazing.
I can go. Yes, I can still go below. So I can go up till the da too. And still, of course, with the double bass flutes, I can still go down. Till here I can go.
so
That is very
this-
low. Unbelievable.
Yes. So that gives a evocative, divine feeling of
Exactly. It's just, it reverberates. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yes, and also it's very difficult to make these flutes. So thanks to a flute maker, especially these long flutes, difficult to get the bamboo itself. So and after you get the bamboo, to get it done with proper tuning and proper sound requires a lot of effort. So
And it's one wood, right? Just one single bamboo stick. So it's not like you can attach pieces and do. So, and the tip of the wood should be so good to get this kind of quality.
yes. So also what happens, you have a very good quality bamboo with everything set, and then you place the hole wrongly, in the sense that you don't place it properly on that position, then the bamboo is gone. So you need to be very, very careful when you make the flute.
Absolutely.
So yes, covering the higher region also, you can use the short flutes. So, but here the challenge is to, now when I'm playing this flute, let's say a longer flute, see the positions here. So it is there's quite amount of gap between two holes. I'm holding like this. When I come to the normal flute, it is like this. The base holes are closer. And also when I come to a shorter flute, the holes are
Still closer.
And also the tone differs. If you're playing this is one serious problem with flute. So if you pick up a flute and just play it, you don't get the natural tone of the flute. Let's say if you play it for 5 minutes, then you get used to that flute. But if you pick up a new flute, it'll not have that great tone. So for example, when I'm playing this flute, this tone improves as I play more. So when I'm let's say I'm playing Behag, so when I'm shifting over to a newer flute, after this, let's say I'm switching over to this flute. Now I need to be careful to manage the tone of the flute. Now, I should be able to get that tone.
Correct.
The same way, the higher pitch. See?
So that's one thing. So we need to get used to the distance between the holes very quickly.
Exactly. When you keep changing, right? It that has to work automatically for you as well.
Yes.
Very nice.
So this is the thing.
It is quite complicated. Of course, we would love to listen to something with both of you playing, that will be amazing. If you could just
Now,
do
now let's do one thing. So I'll play with my ma as sa, and he'll play with his sa as sa.
Okay, so since he has played Behag, so let's take Narayana Namo Namo, for instance. So you start. Go from there, please. So this is how it works when we play as a duet concert. This is not possible when a single flautist possible when there are two flautists, and there is a lot of there is a lot the first point when it comes to a duet concert is compromise.
right.
So without compromise, there can't be any duet concerts. So with lot of compromise and understanding and sync, you can play this duet concerts.
This was absolutely stunning. It just
So this is just one instance. So yes. So to give more examples, so just to show you how this transpose fingering is used a lot in film music. So
Okay.
especially for the flautists to be able to play in film music. Of course, we haven't played in any films, but from the flautists that we have heard and also interacted with, we have got to know that you need to be very equipped with the fingering technique and the transpose fingering technique. To show an example, let's take a small BGM of Idiyarajasa. So this is from a song called Naguva Nayana Madhura Mona, a Kannada film song, which is very, very popular. The first BGM of this song goes like this. Of course, this is composed for violin, but when it sounds on the flute, it sounds like this. So this is the song.
Oh yes, it's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful song and beautifully played. Beautifully played.
Yes.
So we have actually played the entire orchestration on the flute. This is available on YouTube.
So the complete thing, the complete orchestration, the song, and also the beats on the flute. So
Everything on the flute.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. I mean, okay, IR, let's not go there. You have a very ardent fan sitting in front of you. But more than that, is just the beauty of how you bring it out also. When there is a genius creating, you also have to live up to that and create something equally. That's stunning, absolutely stunning. And this is really interesting. The one thing that I also wanted to know is not only this, what have been some of your contributions to the art per se? I know that you've done quite a few, say harmony and twin varisies and a lot of others. So could you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So, on the flute, though we don't have many artists, we have a lot of things covered already. So, because, when there are less artists, we have, the artist thinks a lot and then try to bring a lot of things on the instrument.
Correct.
So we have to start with Mahalingam sir, who revolutionized the playing of flute. After that, we had Ramani sir, who brought in bass flutes in the field of Carnatic music. So after that, we have quite few. We have Shashank Subramaniam, so he who has done a lot of work, who has developed a lot of techniques on the flute. So then we thought, what happens, because we had only single sitters, who were the only notable duet artists for the flute. So since then, since we both are coming up, so we thought, why not try few things which are only possible in a duet flute concert. So we, for instance, we have tried to bring harmony in Tavanam in Carnatic music. that I think no one has done till now. So it's just a small, humble trial. So we can, give a small glimpse of that. So, uh, which raga should we play?
Okay, Puri Kalyani.
Okay, so we'll play a small Tana portion in Puri Kalyani and show how we have try to bring new aspects into a Tana playing by
Sure.
bringing harmony.
Sure.
So this is one thing.
Oh, wow. That was a very interesting Purvi Kalyan. Wonderful, wonderful. Very nice.
Yes.
Yes, so there was how they were you can see more artists doing harmony in the swaram part, and
Correct.
sometimes in the ragam part also. But we have not come across anybody doing harmony in the tanam section.
But the challenging part is to not get compromised with the aesthetic of the raga, which is carnatic. Because once you get into the path of harmony, it's a different track at all.
Absolutely.
Altogether. And you need to come together and then make it a single path. So that is quite difficult. So this
Absolutely.
humble trial, of course, a lot of things are coming up. So
No, but keeping track, as you correctly
and
mentioned,
also
keeping track of the ragam and not losing sight of it while you're trying this, because tanam is very difficult, and especially as you mentioned, people have not done it. So this is a very, very interesting way of, but of course, always within the confines of the raga. That's always
yes,
something
Definitely. That's
you
the
keep your eyeball on, that's important.
yes.
Other
And
than
you
that,
would-
playing
Yeah.
flutes together itself is a difficult task. Getting two flutes with the same shruti, because my lip position is different, his lip position is different. You have to sing to the same shruti, and playing, with the shruti shuddham, two flutes together, it's itself quite a difficult task. So
I think
So
what's
also-
more, very interesting here is it's not both of you playing the same thing. It is not two flutes reinforcing. You're complementing each other. So that itself is a challenge. It's not just two flutes playing together. It's two flutes complementing. So you need to be so
Definitely.
your swara patterns and your swara positions to his. So that itself is an additional level of challenge people do not maybe are used to. They're not used to perhaps.
Yes,
Definitely, yes.
So that is one. Also in the swara part, we have one few improvisation that we do in the swara part that we have developed over the years. So to demonstrate that,
Which one? Shankar
or copy it.
Okay.
So let's take a copy, for instance, copy raga. So in that,
Start from Re.
okay.
Oh, that is beautifully came together. Lovely.
Thank you.
And how do you think of all these innovations? I mean, you're constantly reinventing what you're learning, isn't it? Isn't that very important?
Yes, that is there, but constantly taking inspiration from whatever you're hearing, helps a lot. So it's not only just music; it can be any sound. So any sound, if you take an inspiration from that, it is just an idea, then just pops up, and then you can build on that. So it is just need to start with something, then you get that
Yes.
structure. So
You always get the kernel of idea, and then that's where you build up something else. And it keeps building up,
Definitely.
keep innovating.
Definitely. So even the twin say, so that also came with the idea of Sarigama and Padanisa being the Sarigama with the Pa as Sa. So we is in the same way that Sarigama, Padanisa, the Sarigama idea struck us, and we
so
did that.
the basic idea was that Sarigama and Padanisa, if you take as two blocks, we made sure that both have the same distance between each other. For example, Sarigama, Padanisa, Sarigama. Even that sounds Sarigama when we make Pa as Sa, right?
Correct,
So
correct.
we explored using that idea. Yes.
Absolutely. And I think the constant learning makes you think more, and obviously the love for your art shows through. So hence you want to keep moving along with it. But could you tell us a little more? You briefly showed the flutes. Can you just tell us a little more about the range of the flutes?
So we will cover the bass region. So you play in Raga, you play Kamboji.
Okay. So
Surely.
So this is the way we use
Covering
That is beautiful. It just went all the way up, down, and flowed right through. So that's amazing. But I wanted to ask you, given that technology has made inroads into almost every single art, whether we believe it or not, has technology enabled your art in any way?
Definitely, especially for the flute concerts. If you take a flute concert, let's say 50 years back, the sound of the flute was very mono, in the sense that they were depending on the mic or microphones, setting, or the enhancement that we get from a microphone was not used or
Right.
was not there that time. So, but now since we have a lot of evolution in technology, microphones, that effects that we get from the microphone has really helped for a flute concert.
So in the
So
sense that if you take a vocal artist also, 50 years back, they had to sing louder, or
Correct.
sometimes the audience would come closer to the artist and listen to them.
Correct.
And for that matter, the dynamics of the music, be it on the voice, on any instrument, it was not that felt because of the it was not loud enough. Flute was comparatively louder, but still it was not loud enough to bring out the dynamics on the instrument. So after the microphones came, there was literally a revolution in the dynamics of the instrument, be it on the voice or violin or flute.
and now if you see any professional artist, each artist has his own sound for the flute. That's
Right.
only because of the setting of the microphone. So that has also enabled artists to discover their own sound of music and sound of the flute and sound of the music together. So that has, in that way, the evolution in microphone technology has helped a lot.
And it's really brought out some nuances in your playing, right? Earlier, you might
Yes.
miss a few of the subtleties when somebody's playing, only because you couldn't hear clearly or it wasn't, as you said, nobody was close enough to the stage. So
Right.
that way it has really helped. And of course,
Yes.
now all classes on Skype or, Zoom, completely online, that has
Yes.
bridged a lot of distances. So you really could reach out to more people perhaps and see them in person, like we're seeing right now. How is that?
Yes.
Has that crossed borders?
Yes, so if you want to talk about this Corona time itself, so there has been a lot of evolution, I must say, because no one would have thought that they would come to Facebook maybe in two weeks once and give a concert, and people and they would be judged, on the number of likes and comments on
Right.
the lighter side. So, but of course, the classes also, since we are also taking classes for few students, this has enabled us. This technology has really enabled us to get closer, and then it has made sure that I have not discontinued with music. So it has enabled
Absolutely.
people to continue with whatever they're doing, and also keep intact with everything that's happening. So
Of course,
No,
you
no.
can't get that connect that you could get in a live session.
Correct. Correct.
Yes, so but it has really helped a lot. Skype, Zoom, everything. Yes.
I think so. I mean, at least for my, in a very selfish way, it has helped because I've been able to reach artists across India, talk to them about their art, which I don't think I've done if physically travel there and doing it would have been very impossible for me. Now I'm sitting in the comfort of my room in with my laptop and I'm able to connect with brilliant musicians across India. And I think that makes a huge difference. But as you rightly said,
Yes.
some personal thing connect missing. Very unlike
Yes.
in front of a person, right? Or
Yes.
learning from a person.
That is always. Yes. So
For kacheri setting, it's nothing like a live concert,
Absolutely.
but still,
so our father keeps telling it's just like giving a spoon of you to taste that you need to have it live. Have it live.
Yeah. You just get it to your tongue, but you
So I meant that. So it's
yeah.
like bringing it, yes, bringing it very nearer, but you don't have that taste. So
Exactly. But unfortunately, as artists, sometimes, as you correctly mentioned, reviving or staying in touch with the art, we take whatever we can, we do whatever we can. That's all we can do. And once our classes are shifted online, we completely depend on that. That's the only way to keep students engaged. It's so difficult to keep them engaged as well. They lose interest over a period of time and
definitely.
it's also difficult. But thank you so much. It's been such a wonderful discussion. And thank you for sharing your art completely selflessly. Just deciding you're going to show it to us, and it's amazing. And I can only say that it's stunning art. It's stunning vidvat. So I just hope you continue to do what you do, but enjoy it, and hopefully Corona goes away next year so we can hear you much more. But thank you.
Yes. So it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you and bringing out all these things. It is a very unusual interview because usually it is always how did you grow up? When was your first concert? How did you get
Exactly.
got interest on playing the flute? Who was your first inspiration? All these kind of things. But this was very unusual and very inspiring also.
very meaningful.
Very
Yes.
meaningful. So thank you
No,
so much for having us.
that's so kind of both of you. It is true. I didn't want your journey sort of a podcast, so I usually try and delve a little into what they're doing so that that research might help others, and it's always interesting. But the kindness that you show to share your art always amazes me with any artist, and I think thank you both so much for that.
Pleasure.
Pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.